Hey everyone, my name is Chris Martin. Welcome to Keto with me. You might be looking at this going, what is going on, Chris? I don't understand. You're sitting behind piles and piles of clothes here. So I wanted to take a minute and just talk to you about what I call the little things that I find so important since my journey on keto. So it's some things have happened a few times over the last 11 weeks, and this pile is one of those things that has been very, very satisfying, very exciting to me and stuff. So earlier, maybe it was 4 or 5 weeks ago or something like that, I had mentioned in one of my videos, like the comment, like, hey, saggy pants, and so what I mentioned about that, that's what I call one of the little things. I love the weight loss that I'm experiencing. I'm loving the improvement of sleep. I love the improvement in skin. I love the mental clarity. I love all those other benefits that I'm getting. But there are these little things that just mean so much more to me that really don't, I guess maybe show to everybody else. So one of those things was like the saggy pants comment that I made a minute ago, where, I remember, weeks ago when I went to the grocery store and I got home and I just thought to myself, you know what, I didn't pull up my pants 17 times when I was there, because usually when you have a gut and stuff and you got pants on, even if you get that belt nice and tight, sometimes what happens is you just breathe and then suddenly you're pulling up your pants. So I just always remember like pulling up my pants, like, every like, I don't know how many feet it felt like, but nonetheless, that was one of the first things I noticed about the little things. So it happened again the other day, and I'm sure there's a few more I just can't think of off the top of my head, but it had to do with clothes. So I work from home most of the time. I've been doing that mostly since 1999, but even more, like everyone's doing it, even more so since COVID. But for me, I can just wear a t-shirt and shorts and sweats or whatever, and get away with it. And that really fits into when you're heavy. I mean, people, who are typically heavier like to wear looser clothing, kind of hides the fat. I like to wear darker clothing, at least that's been my experience, and it's just easy to be really comfortable at home. But, just so happened that, this, past couple days I had to go go see a client, and that required me, first thing that went through my head was like, I got to get ready and go to the department store, whether you go to Kohl's, Meijer, wherever you go. It's like I had to go get some clothes, and I'm thinking, I gotta go buy clothes that I'm probably going to wear once and then transition through and so forth. Well, this time I just said, well, let me go look in the closet first, because heavy people tend to have clothes already. Believe me, we all buy these clothes, and we are either fitting into them or almost fitting into them, and then we gain our weight back, and then they're still setting in there. So I went ahead and looked, and I have all these large button-up shirts that are really nice, and I had these nice slacks and Docker style pants that would be good for a business casual type of a visit to a client. So it was at that point that I was like, well, let me go ahead and try on this shirt, and I'm bracing myself with this button-up shirt. So I button it up, and it's like I can pull it forward and go, wow, that's loose. It's not going to pull on my neck. It's not going to give me a headache. So I'm just like tickled to death. So I tried on probably like 15 more shirts, and I was like, wow, all these I can wear. And I'm even thinking that when I get to my goal weight, I might even be past those. So that made me feel really good. So then I was like, oh, the slacks, I'm probably not gonna find a pair of slacks. So or Dockers. So I grab a pair, put them on, and they fit, and they weren't like tight. It was like I could, put a whole hand like in there, and I went, okay, you know what? I could wear these probably for another month or two. This is great. I got something to wear. So I went ahead and tried on the remaining like 3 or 4 pair. One of them, even though it was the same size as the others, did not fit. It was too big. It was like, parachute style pants. So immediately I was like, well, I'm not going to hang it back up. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and get it ready for the donation pile. Because, we do a lot of donations like a lot of folks do. So I was like, well, you know what? This might be a good time. I mean, that felt really good. That's what I mean, the little things. That right there, just not having to go out and buy new clothes, being able to use something that I had planned on, wearing before, just felt really, really good. So I went and just went through everything that I had at that point, and I just called it like, this is my cleansing point at this point. What you see in front of you and in the cameras angle is like, right here where you can kind of see I have to look off a little bit to kind of like, this is what you see. But really, I'm going to reach up here, kind of go across and just kind of show you that, that goes to the end of the table. Got a nice stack there. Go over here. I'm sorry, you see the little keto mug, but it's another stack, and it's probably a good 12 inches all the way across, this table here. So, oops, I gotta move the camera just a little bit more back into focus. So, my point being is that, I've got all these nice, and some of them are never been worn, a lot of them have been worn, but there's these like nice logoed shirts. I totaled it up, it was almost 50 something articles of clothing that, will now get donated and get, will be put to good use and so forth. And then I even did the socks, but the socks really didn't matter. I just kind of wanted to get rid of some old socks and stuff like that, but I'm not counting the socks in this. I bet there's 40 or 50 at the last count. And then, there was a couple things I tried on recently, like swimming trunks. For some reason, I was like, oh, now I got to get rid of a pair of that. I haven't brought those down yet. So my point being is that, this just absolutely makes me feel really good. I know it doesn't have anything to do with like, hey, this is how you should eat keto. This is, clean versus dirty or some kind of topic like that. But, at the end of the day, this is what feels really, 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 really good to me. And I think a lot of people, when we go on that journey and we're able to get into those smaller clothes and, we're able to use something again and maybe even like this. I really intended like thinking I would probably wear quite a bit of these because on my last journey, I certainly would have. I would have been in it long enough that I would have needed these clothes to transition through. I didn't need like all this, to get through it. So, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I appreciate you watching, this video and, probably giggling at me really liking this. So thanks again. Please take time to like and subscribe so you can keto with me. If you got any comments or questions about, my video here, please leave them, leave them down below. Just remember, none of us are perfect. Be a coach, not a critic, and take care, folks.